My room was in need of a refresh, particularly my bookshelves. Part 1 was repainting my room, organizing and buying my bookshelves. And today's video is all about organizing my books in my new little library. This project was a long time coming and the organization will always be a work in progress, but I am so excited to show you how it turned out. I want to welcome you to my cozy little library. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today's video is a long awaited video. I've been waiting months to do this, and this is my own library bookshelf put together. So if you haven't seen the first part of this video, I have been redoing my whole entire room. So the first part is all the painting, closet organization, and building of these bookshelves. I will include a couple clips of me building them, but for the main event of organizing my bookshelves, this is what I've been waiting for, and finally it is time to do that. But first things first, where are my bookshelves from? They're from IKEA. These are the Billy bookshelves. So I have two of the large ones. These are the 6 shelves one, and then one of the smaller ones in the middle. Today is going to be putting all the books in the bookshelf. I just had my godfather over. He mounted these to the wall so they're not going anywhere, and I just put in the shelves. So I'll play a couple clips of me putting it together and then we'll get to the books. I will be listening to Taylor Swift, as I always do. Okay, so now to the book organizing. We got lots of books to put in these shelves, and let's just get started. Okay, I'm currently in the living room because we got my room painted last weekend, and all of my stuff is currently in here, and then there's a couple boxes in my office of books. Wait till you see. So here is my old bookshelf, which I've previously explained in the other video that I will be selling this one. Just outgrown it, as you can tell. And then I have a couple boxes here of books. Now the plan is to sort by genre, and then also putting series together, authors together. Some authors, if they have different books, I'll just probably either put them together or put them in their own section, but we'll see. And up here I did measure these shelves to fit like the tallest hardcover that I have, so like that. Up here is a little bit taller, and what I plan to do is I'm going to put big series that I have. So like, for example, the ACOTAR series or Throne of Glass, I'll probably put up here, stagger this way, because I also want to just have some like variation. But first things first, I have to bring the books in, and I'm going to sort them by genre, and that's just making me really excited. So let's get to it. Okay, I have all of the books in here. I'm sweating. That was a lot, and I have a lot of books, and it looks like chaos right now, but it's kind of organized chaos. So I'll show you. So we got this whole pile here, and then we've got books down here. Now I did try to organize it in some way. This whole section right here is romance. There's some thrillers over there, some fantasy over there, literary fiction, nonfiction, and then there's a couple smaller piles of those genres too. The genres that I read are mostly romance. There's literary fiction, sometimes I'll read thriller, that's probably my smallest pile. Fantasy, and then I do have quite a few nonfiction, a lot of health related topics, and then some memoirs. So now the fun part of actually putting the books on the shelves. Also, side note, I have been going through the books and picking out books that either I know I'm not going to read or I didn't like and I don't want to keep, so I've been putting a couple off to the side. Okay, maybe we'll start with romance because I feel like I have the most of romance, so let's do that.
If I could ever turn back time and do it all again, you know that I would, you know that I would. And if I could live it every night and do it all again, you know that I would, you know I would. You and I loved so softly, like soft serve eyes on a Sunday afternoon. Where did I lose someone like you? Gone too soon. And now I'm awake in the middle of the night, wishing I had a little more time, thinking how all the years kept flying by, flying by. I'm awake in the middle of the night, I knew that everything would be alright. And if I knew what the end would feel like, it feels like if I could ever turn back time and do it all again, you know that I would, you know that I would. And if I could live it every night and do it all again, you know that I would, you know I would. 'Cause I got no regrets, no regrets. Looking back, wouldn't trade with nobody else. 'Cause I got no regrets, no regrets. Looking back on what's left, as I would, you know I would. You and I in the midnight sky will always shine. I've wasted time, and if there's nothing left for me, I would go every place I could. I would see every face I should, but I know that I find all the time isn't on my side. And now I'm awake in the middle of the night, wishing I had a little more time, thinking how all the years kept flying by, flying by. I'm awake in the middle of the night, I knew that everything would be alright. And if I knew what the end.
Hello. I have tried to film this portion of this video 3 times now. I edited the whole video and the background is not in focus for some reason, so here we are. The bookshelf is complete. It has been quite a few weeks since I filmed the first part of this video, but right now I am going to be filming the tour. So a lot has changed and it's probably going to keep changing as I want to arrange things, but this shelf right here, which is the one closest to my window, is all romance. And then we have the middle one, which I have some books on display that are my favorite, and then some more books down here, and then fantasy, literary fiction, all that jazz. So let's do a little bit more in depth. Okay, so starting in my romance shelf, I have up here some romance series. I think I explained this maybe in the video already, but I purposely made it so that this top shelf you can stack books. So for example, I have the Addicted series over here. I still have one book that I want to get with my birthday coupon, but there's that series. This is a huge series, so it fits nicely here. Then I have the Chestnut Springs series and Elsie Silver's newest book that's like kind of connected to Chestnut Springs. And then I have the Magnolia Parks books, which I still haven't read the newest one. It's like 700 pages. so I will get to that this summer. I'm currently in the thick of exams, so we're reading short books for the time being. The second shelf down, I have all of my sports romances. So I actually have all of my L. Kennedy books. Everything is sports romance except for these ones. And then have some Hannah Grace books, this random book that it's a hockey romance. And then Becca Mack, these are hockey romances. The Windy City series, those are all sports romances. And then here, this is, I forget what this series is called. The Rebel Blue Ranch series. So those are cowboy romances. Next shelf we have all Tessa Bailey. These are all like cartoony kind of covers, so I wanted to put those all on one shelf. These are all romances. So all Tessa Bailey, this is all Abby Jimenez, Talia Hibbert, all of Ali Hazelwood, all of Lynn Painter, and then we have Ashley Poston at the end. This is all more emotional romances, and then as we get over here, it's more darker romance. Right here is the Boys of Tommen series. Here's some Catherine Center, Say You Swear. Love this book. Then I have all the books by Kennedy Ryan. I have her Hoop series, and then I don't know what this series is called, but it's her latest series. And then these are all Jennifer Hartman, Love Still Beating, and then these two books are kind of interconnected to Still Beating, so I still have those to read. Then we have All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata, which is a slow burn, and I think it has some deeper themes in it, so I put it over here. And then we have Butcher and Blackbird. This one's dark, but it's also like a comedy. Have all Katie Roberts. This is like a mafia series, and then this is kind of fantasy, but I put it over here because it's with her other books. And then here is the Never After series by Emily McIntyre. Down here we have some of my favorite authors. So we have all of Lauren Asher's books. We have some of Lucy Score's books. I do have some on my TBR cart, but I wanted to keep the Knock 'em Out series together. Then we have Megan Quinn, and then these are all books by Anna Huang. This is the Twisted series, and then this is the Kings of Sin series. And then we got some random books over there. And then this bottom shelf is all miscellaneous romances, and some of them have two from the same author, so I tried to organize it. Like for example, these are both by Lana Ferguson, Elena Armes, Sophie Cousins. Down at the very bottom here we have all of my cookbooks, all of my classics, and then a couple more romance over there. This shelf is all of my thrillers. This shelf right here is all of my Kristen Hanna books, and then down here are all books that I've read that either got me back into reading or they were important books during my time as a young reader. Like for example, The Fault in Our Stars, and then I remember loving this book. It's The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight, and they actually made a movie, but I read this like well over like 10 years ago and loved it. I think that was like my first romance. Anyways, then we have Rebecca Yarros, and then I just thought it was funny because this is a classic. It's by Daphne du Maurier. I don't think I'm saying that right, but it's called Rebecca, beside Rebecca Yarros. So now this shelf is going to be dedicated to my Emily Henry books. So I have Happy Place right now here. This was probably my favorite read of 2023. And then we have Beach Read. My mom just finished reading that and I want to read that again. This shelf right here, I have this little snow globe with some cardinals in it. Cardinals are very significant for me. Then I have a couple of just random books to like flip through, and then I have this little book, Advice from a Blob. If you've never seen this little guy's videos on TikTok or Instagram, you should. They're really cute and they have some really nice messages, so I like to flip through that. And then this is a new addition as of today. I think I'm gonna get something that's a little bit bigger, but these are my bookmarks. This one is actually my Papa Bill. I like that that one is sitting out and he's watching over me. And then up here I have the scripts for normal people. I really enjoyed the book and I loved the TV show even more, so I wanted to put this on display. And then I have this little golden book biography of Taylor Swift, and then in the back I have a book that my mom got me. It's like a friend's book of lists, and then I have this little scrapbook that one of my mom's friends made me. So now we're over in the fantasy section. So up here I have 2 series by Sarah J. Maas. We have the ACOTAR series, which is my favorite fantasy series so far. And then we have Throne of Glass. I am going to start Throne of Glass this summer. It's just I didn't want to start it while I was still in school because I just have a feeling that I'm just going to be so wrapped up in it that I will forget about school. So this is going to be on my summer reading list. Then we have the UK editions of the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. So I have the Ballad of Never After displayed. This is also on the list for very soon. Then this next shelf is a bunch of fantasy duologies. I think there's a couple standalones, but these are mostly duologies. So we got Rebecca Ross. We have the Shepherd King duology by Rachel Gillig. Then we have the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. Love this trilogy, by Carrie Maniscalco. And then the continuation kind of spin-off Throne of the Fallen, which also on the very soon TBR. Then we have the Empyrean series, so like Fourth Wing, Iron Flame. This is very, very high on the reading. My friend really wants me to read this because I read this Fourth Wing in February or March and I decided to take a little break, but she's itching for me to read this. So Sienna, I'll read this very soon. Then we have Belladonna and Foxglove. This Jessa Hastings is her fantasy, so I decided to split it up. And then we have this series by Chloe Gong, one book by Lee Bardugo, and then Heartless Hunter. Down here there are some trilogies, duologies, but then there's a lot of like standalone fantasy. We got some Jennifer L. Armentrout, Danielle L. Jensen. This is the Prison Healer trilogy by Lynette Noni. Then these ones, this is like a duology. Anatomy of a Love Story, Immortality, a Love Story, and then a bunch of other, either, like I said, standalones or part of a series. And then this shelf, we start to transition into more of the literary fiction. So to end off of fantasy, I have my books by TJ Klune, some Olive Lee Blake, and then hers kind of transition into the literary fiction. So we have some books by Frederick Bachman, some by Gabrielle Zevin, some standalones. Over here is just a bunch of hardcover literary fiction. This shelf as well is literary fiction. We got all of the Taylor Jenkins Reid books that I have, Sally Rooney, and then miscellaneous. And then over there is Dolly Alderton at the end. And that kind of flows into nonfiction because Dolly Alderton has both fiction and nonfiction, so I was able to keep those together and it flowed nicely. And then down at the very bottom is all of my nonfiction. So we have a bunch of books by Gabor Mate, and then some other doctors, and we have some memoirs, a couple of self-help ones, mostly health subjects. I'll let now pass Becky end the video. So that is the bookshelf tour. Like I said, I am very happy with it, and it just makes my space just feel so much more cozy, and I get to see all of my books on display. So yeah, I am really excited to have this set up now. I think I'll do a separate video, probably like a part 2 to the whole room makeover, where I'll show like decorating the bookshelves and if I have to like reorganize some things, like I said, like with the lights and some other like cosmetic sort of things to do with my room, but I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.